Hello and welcome. It's Marilyn Devonish here from transformationstm.com. And I just want to share with you a bit about what happened this weekend. And this is the 8th year that we've run it. And this is the 8th year that we've had these results, which is just amazing. So what you can see on the screen now is a testimonial comment from one of the attendees at this year's Mind, Body, Spirit Energy Fest, which runs as a in-person workshop, but for the first time ever next year we're running it as a video webinar training, so a full one-day training, and it means you can take part from anywhere in the world. So what this attendee was saying, she said, I couldn't ask for anything more. All of my hopes have been blown out of the water, so more of the same. I've had the best year. And what she was talking about, because I start the workshop with, why are you here? What do you want to know? What do you want to learn? What do you want to take away? And that's what she said, because she had attended the year before and the year before that. And what was really lovely, at the end of the workshop, she was talking to someone who attended for the first time at the weekend. And she says, when I came 3 years ago, I was like this, really there was not much happening. And she said, now my life is like this. And did the kind of the upward trajectory with her arm, because everything that she wanted to focus on next year blown out of the water. And so it's a lovely experience when you have to recalibrate and go, right, okay, did that, achieved that, got that. And one of the things that happened, and it was the second year that it became apparent that that was what was happening, is that ran it the first year just because I'd been having a terrible year, and I thought, if I'm having such a tough time, I can't be the only one. And so I had one of those intuitive dreams that said, because I was saying to myself, what do I need to do to have a better year next year? This was back in November 2011. And I woke up, my usual 3 o'clock in the morning going, you need to work on your mind, your body, your spirit, and your soul. I was like, cool, I can do that. And then it was like, actually, it will work even better if you maybe bring in some other people to help you with that as well. So specialists in some of the respective fields, even though I know you can do it all yourself. And so that's what happened. Ran a workshop. I think we had like 3 weeks to pull the whole thing together. But got it organized, got 20 people in the room, which was great, had a wonderful day. But you've got, for those of you who run workshops, you go, I think that was brilliant, and let's see. But some of the people we worked with after the event, because we put together like a Power of 3 program, so we were coaching people throughout the year, and the reasons people were coming were so wide and so varied. So in the first year we ran it, we had somebody who came along, and his thing was he wanted to experience deep love, because in all the years I had known him, he'd been single and very unhappily so, dating websites, networking events, even going to conferences and workshops, hoping to meet someone. And I think it had been, a good 7, something like that, years that he'd been, trying and having some disastrous relationship experiences. Came to the Mind, Body, Spirit Energy Fest workshop, made his declaration, did some coaching for 3 months outside of the workshop. So after it ended, he did a 3-month coaching program. And the following year, he returned to the workshop as my guest, and he brought his girlfriend with him. And it was the first time that he had experienced that kind of deep love. And so he came and he did a talk for the group, explaining the process that he'd gone through, the clearings, and just how much his life had changed. That was fantastic. We also have people, you might have heard me talk about Amarna. She was there on that very first workshop. And the goal that came to her head while she was there was saying, actually, I think I want to go and live and work and teach in Saudi. Now, she'd never been to Saudi Arabia or Dubai. Those were the 2 that she listed. She didn't have a teaching certificate that was valid or relevant. And she's a black woman with dreadlocks. So that's not necessarily, Saudi Arabia isn't necessarily the first place you would think of, but that's what she said. And I was like, okay, forget that she's your friend and just help her with the goal. And within 6 months, she was gone. She'd let her house, did a Skype interview over Skype. She just washed her dreadlocks. If you've got dread, you know how heavy they are when they're wet. So she sat there with a towel on her head, water dripping down her face. It was camera off. Did an interview over Skype, got the job. Within 6 months, she was living in Saudi and teaching, doing exactly what she said she wanted to do. And the synchronicities for that were incredible. If you haven't seen the video, it's on the testimonials page on my website, because I did an interview with her. Because when I say what happened, people are like, really? It's almost unbelievable. And so we did a whole video interview. So I'll drop the link in here as well if you want to watch it. But she again was on that very first workshop. So she attended the second year because she was out living and working in Saudi, which is exactly what she had voiced. You know, and of course we have people, you know, working in terms of money and finances. So we had somebody who came along who wanted to be mortgage free. I met him at the, I think it was called the Business Show, something like that, last year. And we just happened to be chatting. And he then drops into the conversation that he's mortgage free. And I'm like, oh my God, that's what he said he wanted to achieve when he was on the workshop. So, you know, that was very cool. I had somebody who wanted to pay off all of their debts, and they've done it. So that they did that a couple of years after attending the workshop. And so you know, we have some really cool, amazing, fantastic, wonderful things happening for people. And what's really fabulous as well is that this is, I think, probably the fifth year now that I've had people book a full 12 months in advance. So this is from Anika, who posted this on her Facebook page on the 2nd of December. It's a picture of her diary from Saturday the 30th of November 2019. Today is the 4th of December 2018. So this is a year and a bit in advance. And this is her saying, this is where I'm going to be next year, which is absolutely lovely. And you know, so people often book 12 months in advance to make sure they secure their spot. And so that's really nice as well. And yeah, it's kind of cool. And we were, you know, the woman I kind of run it with, who I roped in 8 years ago. And when I roped her in and said, look, you're doing this, I don't even care what you say, she didn't know how to use PowerPoint, didn't know how to create presentations, didn't have a clue about creating hands, didn't know anything about using technology. And I was saying to the group yesterday, now her PowerPoint slides are better than mine, her handouts are better than mine, and she's created products that sell because she created them specifically for that workshop. So not only has it been transformational for the attendees, it's also been transformational for the people that I brought in to speak. So that has been amazing as well. And so we were debating, do we want to run it again this year? And I said to Gina, look, I'm not a party planner. I know people come and have an amazing time. I know for many people it's like a reunion. I know for many people it's like almost their spiritual home, and it's the place that they know they can go every year to get refreshed and renewed. But I said, I'm not a party planner. If this isn't really making a difference in people's lives, I'm not going to run it anymore. 8 years, I'm good. I don't need to do it again. And so I said to Gina, I need to know that it's really making a difference. And so when I did the workshop, the very first person who kind of said, you know, who spoke, she was the one who said, everything I worked on last year has been blown out of the water. And I was like, oh my God, that is what happened the first time I ran this event. The very first time I ran this event, I went around the room and I was saying to people, you know, why are you here? What do you want to know? What do you want to learn? The first person I spoke to, because this was in year 2, so this would have been December 2012. First person I spoke to, and I said, why are you here? What would you want to get from the weekend? They said, everything I worked on last year came true, so I'm back for more of the same. I was like, oh my God, and I got goosebumps. That was cool. Went to the second person. They said, I was here last year as well. Everything I worked on came true, so I'm back for more of the same. I'm like, okay, that's cool, because I hadn't been in contact with them because I was only in regular contact with the people who did the Power of 3 program. Went to the third person. They said, oh, I was here last year as well. Everything I worked on came true. I'm back for the more of the same. And of the people who were there, the first 5 people, just so happened, had been there the year before. They all said exactly the same thing. And so that's been the experience. But I said to Gina, if that is still not happening and we've just fallen into, oh, let's have a great time, I'm not running it. But to have the first person to speak say everything's been blown out of the water, I looked at Gina, she looked at me, and we went, okay, this game on. You know, so that was wonderful. And I've had some really, you know, fantastic feedback forms from people as well. So this was from someone who attended the workshop this weekend, and I say, you know, can you choose 5 words to, you know, how was the event for you? So they've said enlightening, magical, expansive, wonderful, and awesome. Would you recommend the event? Yes, they would. How would you rate the speakers and sessions? Excellent. And what they said, I think it might be slightly just out of view in terms of the banner at the bottom, but it says this is a great event and it is not to be missed. And that was someone who was attending for the first time. She also sort of went on to say, she says, the workshop has opened my mind. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Cutting the ties of the old negative energy. She says she actually feels lighter. We ask if there's anything they would change about the workshop. She says nothing. It's been fabulous. And did the workshop meet your expectations? Yes, and then some. So that was her feedback. Actually, I haven't really properly looked through this. I've looked through like 3 or 4, but I haven't been through them all. So what has this person said? They've said amazing, awesome, mind-blowing, brilliant, love, love. Yes, they would recommend it. Speakers were excellent. Gina and Marilyn are brilliant. Any other comments or suggestions? Fantastic. So I'll tell, oh God, that's long. Love the entire 2 days, focusing on me time, more specifically the silver cord of life, Huna and access consciousness. The impact of this has shifted me, and I felt calm, focused, and amazed. It was an amazing clearing. The power of words was thought-provoking. Ho'oponopono and cutting the ties moved me. Game of life took me out of my comfort zone. Huna was uplifting and mind-blowing. This workshop helped us plan for 2019, but also addressing making 2019 more awesome and more amazing. And what was the best and most beneficial part? All of the knowledge and exercises. Love the access consciousness and Huna. The role plays took me out of my comfort zone. Love Marilyn and Gina's cards, and can use them in my work and professional life. Because that was a cool one as well. It was the debut of my new coaching cards as well. So I for those of you who are lifetime members in my membership group, I gifted those guys a copy of the deck. And so it's the first time people had actually seen those, aside from Sunny Olmo, who got a sneak preview last weekend. So that was really, really cool. Person says, cemented my goals. I will have achieved more of them before 2009. Looking back over 2018, because we did an exercise. It's an exercise I've been doing for the past 18 years. I shared it with the group thinking, oh, I wondered how useful this would be. People were like, oh my God, wow, this is amazing. I'm like, man, sometimes you take things for granted and you don't realize how powerful they are. So that was one of those. How would you rate the speakers? 110%, since they are the next level. And in terms of, please feel free to give a comment that we can use in our promotional literature. I can see, hear, feel, and taste my near future now. Thank you for all of your help. That is wonderful. And it was insightful. Know yourself and next level. So really, really fabulous. And it's something we run once a year, 1st December of the first weekend of December, I should say. And so bookings are now open if you did want to join us for next year. But as I was saying at the start of this video, for the first time ever next year, I'm going to run a video webinar version of this training. So a 1-day training. The way that it would look for you guys, if in terms of what you will see, let me show you that one. So what you see here is basically this is what the back office looks like for me. So you don't get this full view, you don't get the slides at the bottom, of course, only I can see those, but you get to see the PowerPoint slides right up on the main screen. You'll see myself, when I'm delivering on a video webinar. There's a chat room as well, so you can see some of the comments there just under my video, so people can chat in real time. There's also a questions section as well. With this one, I use it more when you can switch on your camera, you can switch on your microphone. I tend to use that more like if I'm running a mastermind group, not necessarily for this kind of workshop, but what we'll probably do when we get to breaks. So like we have the Q&A in the workshop, what I'll do when we get to a break, I'll say, because people can raise their hand if they want to ask a question in person, and then I can switch on people's microphones, I can activate their cameras, and then that gives them the ability to speak and share either in terms of audio or in terms of coming on camera. So, but that's basically what the platform looks like in terms of how the webinar will be delivered. So if you would like to join us, the website is www.mbsenergyfest.eventbrite.com. I'll drop that into the comments as well, just so it's there for future reference. But that's what you can expect with the back office in terms of how it looks and how you can interact. I've run a couple of video webinar workshops so far, and they have been fantastic. The first one I ran as a full-day workshop was my Practitioner Insider Secrets, where I'm sharing with my people who are practitioners, coaches, trainers, therapists, etc., the technology I use, the platforms I use, how I actually create my workshops, how to format it, how to lay out and get the ideas together, how to take crazy wild ideas and actually turn them into something that you can deliver as a product. And so that was the first time I ran it as a one-day workshop. And then at the end of October, I ran a full, basically 3-day, because it was 22 and a half hours, 3-day video webinar version of my photo reading workshop. And it wasn't just the first time I had done that, it's a world first. Learning Strategies, the company who created photo reading, have been about for over 30 years now. They've never run it as a video webinar. So it was kind of, again, pushing the boundaries. If it's there, if it's possible, let's give it a go. And I had exactly the same feedback from the video webinar as I do from the in-person workshop. And what really surprised me, I expected it on the Friday afternoon that people be excited and they're buzzy and they're energized. But after you've done a 9-hour day, the next day on a Saturday, so we started at 9:30, we finished at 7:30, people were still energized and focused and motivated. We then did the same on the Sunday, 9:30 to 7:30. And I was like, okay, let's see how this goes down. And at the end of that 22 and a half hour stint, people were still focused, energized, inspired, and motivated. And that's not often what you get when you've been sitting at your desk in front of a camera. And so I knew it was going to work. I knew it would be good, and it exceeded my expectations. And that was my litmus test in terms of, if I can do it for 3 days, man, it will be a piece of cake doing it for one. And so next month, next year, if you're watching this in real time, we're doing it on the 26th of January. We're running a one-day video webinar version of this workshop. And we're going to be following a very similar format. Actually, I think I've got the overview here. Let's see. Overview. So this is an overview of what we did this weekend. And one of the things I kind of glanced at it in terms of somebody saying one of the things that they like is the fact that we are, we're innovating, kind of changing things up and also making adjustments for the people who are in the room. And so what we're going to do over the next week or so, I'm running it with the clairvoyant and psychic Gina Batt. And we're going to just kind of go, okay, what do we want to put into the one-day version? And we might even go back to the very beginning, because when we first ran it for the first couple of years, it was a one-day workshop. And for the last couple of years, it's been 2 days. But this time round, and this one went really well, we did the Exploring Our Deeper Spheres, and I created an exercise based on some of the work of Marianne Williamson. Had exactly the impact that it had on me when I did it years ago. So that was interesting. We, of course, did the Huna and Access Consciousness. I don't think anybody would let me out of the room if we didn't do it. We did the Clairvoyant and Psychic Influences. Gina is definitely going to do that, where she's looking both at the numerology of the year and also then looking at the clairvoyant messages that she gets from her team. She's been a clairvoyant since she was 3 years old, and she's now in her 60s, so that's a lifetime dedication. Power of words, that was, words that are key and words to keep in mind and things to be aware of as we go into 2019 and beyond. Silver Cord of Life, we'll probably do that one because that's a guided meditation process. The Ho'oponopono and Cutting the Ties, we'll probably do that as well, because I already do that a lot. Well, with all of my coaching clients, I do everything on telephone and Skype. So that's one I do a lot. We're probably not going to do the Game of Life because that's a real, embody it, full body. But we have talked about how we can translate some of that into the webinar environment. Then and now, it's a process that I shared with people that literally takes like a nanosecond, but is super powerful in helping you to move on and really focus on your goals. People's choice, we won't need to do that because you've not done it before if you're joining the webinar. And the Future Energy Boost, we'll probably do that as well. So if you would like to join us for the webinar, it's the same link, www.mbs, M for Mother, B for Bertie, S for Sierra, Mind, Body, Spirit it stands for. So MBS Energy Fest, F for Freddie, EST, .eventbrite.com. So the pre-launch, the pre-launch price ended today if you're watching this in real time, but the launch price is now up until the 16th of December. And it means you can take part from anywhere in the world from the comfort of your own home. So yeah, if you'd like to join us, that would be fantastic. Sorry, I'm just reading. So I love the workshop as a whole, and it worked its magic. The processes, reflections, and clearings were perfectly timed. I'm still in the vortex. You know, the clearing was extremely powerful, the amazing atmosphere, amazing processes that never cease to amaze. That's lovely. What I love is that the organizers always change, or that's what I was talking about, always change and choose the processes that are amazing and totally shift perspective and allow for profound realizations. Did it meet your expectations? Exceeded all of them. And it was exhilarating, successful, inspirational, amazing, fabulous. How do you rate the speakers? 15 out of 10. Wow, MBS is something of inspiration, and that's so lovely. Every year it gets more and more magic. Oh, that's so much. Any other ideas and comments? I love you so very much. Oh, that's so sweet. So yeah, it's been amazing. I'm sure it will continue to be amazing, and to get those results year in, year out for 8 years, I would say that's quite an achievement. And to have people being willing to book over 12 months in advance, that's pretty cool as well. And when I say book, I don't mean just they just go, oh, I might come. They've actually booked and paid. They are on the list. Oh my God. And we went to a new place for the lunch as well, because it's about also with, we're working on the mind, the spirit, and the soul, and we want to feed the body. Wow, people's faces when they were coming back with a tray. Oh my God, seriously, I wish I'd taken photos. The joy, the excitement, the full body experience of it all. Everybody was like, we got to go the next year. And they're actually saying they might even come back to Watford to go to that restaurant, because it was just a smorgasbord of culinary joy. And that was my intention when I booked it. I wanted to book something that would truly feed people's minds and their souls in a very, very special way. And that is exactly what happened. And so we're going to go back to the same place again, because we could probably go there 20 times and still not experience everything. So, that is absolutely amazing. Just having a quick look at this message that just come through. Oh, cool. But yeah. That's very cool. But yeah, so if you'd like to join us, it'll be amazing. And I guess this time next year I could be kind of talking about you, of course, in terms of finding deep love, if that's the thing you want, creating your goals if that's the thing that is relevant for you, kind of knowing where you'll be in a couple of years' time, if finances, and that's what you're looking at. So whatever it is, and people work on whatever it is they want to work on. They can share if they want to share. They don't have to share if they don't want to share. But it has been completely amazing in terms of what people have achieved. And first year you might go, oh, that was lucky. Second year, like, man, that's cool. 8 years in, people turning up and saying, I've got everything I wanted, all my goals, blown them out of the water. That for me is the kind of consistency that I'm looking for, because I know personal development can be a little bit up and down and somewhat flaky sometimes. And so it's lovely to do something and to have created something which creates such massive and monumental change in people's lives. So thank you to everyone who has attended over the past 8 years thus far. Thank you to everyone who has signed up already to join me for December 2019. And I also look for, and there were a couple of new people there, and they just said, man, it has been so welcoming and so fantastic, and just so, I think I'm just looking down. I think this is one from one of the new people. Oh, it is, because she says meeting new people. So in closing, let's just finish off with one of the new people who came for the first time on Saturday. She says, best part, biggest impact, dealing with a deep issue, which has been creating physical pain. Wow. Best and most beneficial part, meeting, the clearings were great, and meeting new people. Did it exceed your expectations? Yes, it did. 5 words: supportive, healing, informative, loving. Would you recommend this workshop to others? Yes, I already have. How would you rate the speakers? 9 out of 10. And give a comment we can use. It's a fun way to align yourself. And the fact that somebody, because when you walk into a training where the majority of people know each other, many of these people are now in my membership group. They've been in the Magic and Gratitude program. They've attended Mind, Body, Spirit Energy Fest. One of the attendees has been there 7 years out of the 8 years that I've run it. There's already a clique there. There's already a connection there. People are deep in conversation about what happened last weekend, because a group of us went out for dinner when Sonny Olmo flew over from Boston to London just to have dinner with some of my groups. And so somebody walking into that on their own can be a bit daunting. Within minutes, she was just enveloped into the wonderful vibe of the group. So for her to use the word loving, gosh, I've got goosebumps. For her to use the word loving to describe the workshop, for me, that speaks volumes for the wonderful, incredible people that are drawn together to these events. So wow, that's awesome. That's really awesome, actually. Yeah, fantastic. So if you would like to join us, it's go to the Eventbrite page. The link is in the comments. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I'll put the link in the description. And my main website, if you've got any questions or queries, it's www.transformationstm.com. Trance is TRANCE, as in hypnotic trance. Formations, FORMATIONS, TM as in trademark. So transformationstm.com. Email address is Marilyn, MARILYN, @transformationstm.com. I'll drop the link into the conversation thread as well, so that you have it there. So if you've got any questions, if you've got any queries, feel free to sorry, I'm just going to have a look at that. Feel free to drop me a message. But the way it works, because we're booking, because I now know 12 months in advance I'm already running it, because I've got people booked on. What I am going to do, what I've done the past couple of years, is we work in quarterly blocks. So first couple of weeks, I did a pre-launch price just for the first few days. So those of you on my e-newsletter list saw that straight away, but that ended this afternoon. So I've now got the launch price, which will be on for the next 2 weeks. And then once we hit into the new year, the price changes each quarter. So depending on how early you book, depends on the deal that you get. I remember we had somebody, I think last year was her first year, but she attended and she went, because I was talking about the price that you get in the room as well if you wanted to rebook, and she's like, I paid nearly double that. And I went, well, you didn't book early enough. So the later you leave it, the more you will pay, because the early booking price is, as it says on the tin, it's for booking early. And that just helps me cement my numbers and know what I'm doing with the hotel and with the contract, because one of the reasons I can get a great deal and initially keep the price a bit lower is because the earlier I book, the better the deal I get with the hotel, if I can commit to some numbers. So that's that. But yeah, so it changes on a quarterly basis. So depending on how early you book for the live workshop in person will depend on the price you get. And of course, the benefit with the video webinar is that even if you can't make it on the day, you can watch the recording and have that and replay the processes at your leisure, which I think is, a wonderful opportunity, because you'll already know, if you've done my teleseminars and webinars and all that sort of stuff, or even telephone and Skype coaching sessions, you will know that the energy of things like the Huna and the Ho'oponopono and all of that carry not just across the airways, but through time. And I've had people listen to MP3 recordings, 5 years after I've recorded them, and they still get the benefit and feel the energy of it all. So that is great. And Marie-Therese says, lovely, thank you. Oh, Errol, hi, Errol, long time no speak. Good to sort of metaphorically see you too. But yeah, so that's it. So if you want to join us for the Mind, Body, Spirit Energy Fest, either in person, next year, it will be the Saturday, the 30th of November. and Sunday the 1st of December 2019, if you're watching this in real time. If you're not, just look at whatever the first weekend in December is, that's when it will be. And the video webinar we'll run it live on the 26th of January, full one day, and thereafter you can purchase the recording. So, you know, several options now to take part, no matter where you live, no matter where you are in the world, and you can take part in this incredible transformation from the comfort of your own home. So thank you for watching. If you know anyone who would benefit from, you know, cutting those old energetic ties, releasing themselves from the past, actually setting goals that work and that just happen naturally without you having to, like, you know, torture yourself. You just go, oh my god, I've achieved. And that's the exercise I did this weekend, because I thought I really want people to see how far they've come. So if you want to do it in a more effortless and more natural and more aligned and congruent way, then feel free to share this video. Feel free to share the www.mbsenergyfest.eventbrite link with them. And now it doesn't matter which country they're in or where they're based, because they can also do the video webinar. So yeah, like, share, comment, that would be very cool. So thank you for watching. Thank you for all of my attendees, and I will catch you later. Bye bye.